as you mentioned, CM Punk. So, do you want to start there?
Absolutely. Because I watched Survivor Series, a complete nothing happening show.
Wow.
Like, just like, I'm just baffled. They had 17,000 people in there. It looked like amazing. Everything's bright, and then the War Games matches were just like nothing. Like, I came in the middle of the women's War Games, so I didn't see the whole thing, how they set it up, and it looked, all right at the end, what they did. But like the men's War Games, it was like, wow, like Cody did nothing crazy or whatever. This was just like,
the cage?
No. Like Charlotte actually did the moonsault off the top of the cage, so maybe she got it for the night. But it was just a very standard, basic. It was like a Randy Orton tribute match, like damn near. Like they had Orton come out as the last man, and then they all took turns hitting like the drop DDT he does and doing Randy Orton's moves, and it was just kind of heatless for me. Like it didn't feel like there was like actual real beef or anything there. So like I was like, man, this is the company that's quote unquote on fire, but I was just baffled. Like just a level of softness and tameness to this stuff. I was like, this is supposed to be War Games. Like, and I'm not even comparing it to Blood and Guts. I'm like, yo,
compare it to NXT Takeover War Games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck is this? Like I don't like it just felt like literally it was a show that was booked for one thing to happen. Even though, they tried to play something else or whatever. So they got me. They got me good because I thought after the Orton reveal thing, I thought that was it. I thought they threw up the little graphic or whatever, as the classic, thing goes. Then all of a sudden,
be disappointed. Yeah.
And then they hit the joint. And I'm like, and then like they showed a wide shot, huge pop.
Yes.
CM Punk comes back, walks out. It looks like he's let his hair grow a little bit. All white shirt, no merch. Crowd's going crazy. One nigga grabs him and
he looks
yelling.
Better. He does look better physically. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what.
That's how it always begins.
Yeah, he looks healthier and is like just a slow descent. Like that's besides what we'll get to, but he does look better than he did like at the end of like let's say Wembley. Like he definitely looks better than Wembley. He looks in better like physical shape too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he's inhaling some of the PEDs that Randy Orton is clearly on. This man, Randy Orton, came back looking like he ate Randy Orton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that man is like that man will burn a hole in a cup right now. But like. I had some fun on Twitter. I sent out a tweet pretty early, so people tried to get at me, but I stood on business.
Stood wrongly on business.
Didn't delete it.
Yeah,
I stood on business.
Even I was like, nah. Even I'm gonna get on him. I'm gonna get. It's time to dog pile, and I'm gonna be one of them dogs. Bow wow wow. Speaking of being a dog pile, I actually was listening to Doggy Style a little bit. I was listening to Doggy Dog World. Ain't no fun a minute ago before we started this. Waiting for you to situation to work out. Didn't work out, but yeah, man. Like I'm like, nah. I see what you're doing. I see you trying to tweet through it, and gradually you'll tweet through it. But while you tweet through it, like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get him too while he at it. Like because everybody out here, kicking him, like throw some dirt on him. Let me go ahead and throw a little dirt on him too. As we talked about.
Somebody told me I had to fall on the sword. I'm like, you must not know me. Like, this internet shit fake, nigga. Like,
oh my god.
But yeah, like, I said some other man. The CM Punk fan army is very strong, man.
As we've known, as we see that they watch and they consume all things CM Punk related for content. They do well for our numbers. And like we're not the type to keep hitting on the Yankees and the Red Sox or the Cowboys and the Giants just for the sake of it being of interest. It's like, hey, this interesting to us. We'll talk about it, and those do numbers. Like I gotta tell you, when we do talk about Roman Reigns, we talk about Sasha Banks, talk about CM Punk, they all do numbers. When we talk about Stardom and like critical points, it does numbers. It's interesting. Those are like the things that do numbers for us. Go figure.
Yeah, I had people looking me in my face and telling me that, CM Punk right now at 45 years old is a better wrestler than Will Ospreay. Like, I'm like, yo, y'all somewhere else. Like, I can't play with y'all on this.
Yeah, and their thought process is like half of wrestling or most of wrestling is talking. It's not the actual wrestling. And if that's your perspective on pro wrestling, then like, cool. I don't have much to discuss with you outside of talking about like the good old days back when I was a kid and how that was cool. Because if you want to talk about what's going on now, we're just going to be on different. We're going to have different tastes, and that's fine. You know, as they say, you know, flavors of ice cream, right?
Oh my god!
But yeah, man, that's just not my particular brand of ice cream right now. Like CM Punk when he was in AEW, I enjoyed the stuff he was doing in the ring or out the ring. I thought he was the best storyteller they had in the company. So like he's in WWE. We'll see what he does. I will be interested to see what he does. Obviously, it looks like the Seth thing is going to happen. But yeah, like I'll have more interest in WWE that Punk's there because I want Punk back in pro wrestling. Even if this whole thing happened with AEW, when he came back, I was like, hey man, the dude's too talented. Has been done some really good work since he came back. I understand he's burnt bridges because all he does is that. But like I think he's talented enough to where you still. You put him on someone's television, and you know I'm glad it is not Impact or TNA. I'm glad it is one of the majors. So he's there.
I'm glad it's not.
There's people for him to have. There's a lot of stuff for him to do. There's like 2 or 3 years worth of stuff for him to do. Will he get through it? Will he be around for 2 or 3 more years? I don't know. I doubt it. I would not bet on that. But he's there, and that's a good pickup for them.
Yeah. I'm just. Much like when he was fired by AEW, which people I think are kind of like acting like didn't happen for some reason. Like everybody's framing this like it's a jump or something like that. Yeah. Nah, man. Look, this man was given the box.
Rich, technically he was fired from WWE. Rich, technically he was fired from WWE too.
You stupid.
I mean, he got his release on his wedding day. That's all he complained about on that podcast, right? Or not all. That was one of the things.
James, he complained about a lot of stuff. So, I'm just happy that it's over there. I don't have to worry about him trying to because eventually, this shit gonna pass. Whatever, he's on Monday Night Raw tonight. I'm sure he's gonna, do a little pewing. But hey, man, gotta go start having.
Sure he can do that legally without consequence?
I think he's gonna slip a few things through. He's clever enough.
That's true. You know who else is clever? Legal teams.
Who? You stupid. Oh, yeah, you're right. They don't play at all. But here on this show, we kind of predicted that this would happen 2 months ago, 1 month ago.
Wow.
Both of them. There was 2 different, there's a clip we did, the CM Punk opponent draft, which is pretty fucking hilarious in hindsight. I listened to it today.
Yeah.
And then when Leah was on from Tunnel Talk, and don't forget, I will be on Tunnel Talk early December. Still ironing out the date.
Okay.
What's up to y'all? But this was always in the middle of Pro Wrestling War, they were going to bring him back in. They were, they had 1 week ago, Will Ospreay signs with AEW, and, very publicly, it's like, you got to swing those headlines back to yourself. And him going to WWE, I just want to say, James, it sparked some questions, because a big reason that people like CM Punk was because of how he framed his authenticity. It was the voice of the voiceless, a man against the machine, truth to power, all that trans rights t-shirt, speaking on behalf of the marginalized people.
Yeah, a real person in the sterile entertainment show. Yeah. So I got more. So WWE at the time when CM Punk was getting popular, essentially, his whole thing was you should be more open-minded to what a top person looks like or even wrestles like at the time. And this is really the essence of early 2010 CM Punk for people that were not there. And that's actually a pretty large number of people that just don't understand what actually the big deal is with this guy. I see a guy that's just calling shit all the time now. Mm-hmm. So he convinced a legion of people in AEW that he was the victim, just like he's done everywhere else.
It's like, Tony Khan, of course, he bent over backwards so far that he came out on the other side to the detriment of even his overall product, with Collision now looking like this negative. Dave wrote about it that he didn't respect the company or even his fellow wrestlers as far as he could throw them. He was about as stable as Draymond Green back there. So for me, with him going back to WWE again, absolutely shattering a numerous amount of those principles. My question's not for CM Punk. I knew what CM Punk was ages ago. He's a shit stirrer, a malcontent, a hypocrite, and at the end of the day, a worker, a liar. I don't think that's unfair to label him as those things, because I have a dozen examples I can point at. This year alone, he's run a one-man assault on the wrestling news cycle. My question is for all the people that stood with him as he now preps to probably go to Saudi Arabia, main event one of those buy one, get one free WrestleMania nights, get worked on by Dr. Aman, who, yes, still works for WWE. Insert all the snipes. You guys know all the gotchas. We've got them all. Now that CM Punk, like James said, has revealed himself to be just like all those other wrestlers, how do you deal with that? Do you pretend he never said that stuff? Is he the only real wrestler in this thing actually a fraud too? Did it make you happy to see him stand next to Triple H? Well, I know these people don't respect. Spite will create strange bedfellows. If they have to, James, I'm prepared for them to fight on that lie. I just hope that they stay focused long enough before they got to pivot on every principle, just like CM Punk.
Hey, man, rationalization and coping is a real thing. Right? You think you believe in things and believe in something, and then all of a sudden, it goes and it flies in your face, and you still ride with it. It happens. We see it all the time. We see it all the time, right? January 6th was the Law and Order side saying nah, we've been run into the building.
So we gonna ride,
right? So we see that. So yeah, man, it happens. I was actually thinking about this, today, cause I think about college football a lot, and I always think about this kind of wave of anti-vaccine run that we've had, since COVID-19, even before then we had the huge run of people that are just we don't want to get our kids these vaccinations or inoculate them from, mumps. And mumps is coming back, right? And I always find it funny that people those sorts of people they're so against inoculation, all that kind of stuff, and they want choice on that stuff up until their college team catches one of them upsets, and then it comes back a week later. Oh yeah, a string of the players had flu. It's always interesting, and it's always why didn't they dumbasses get a flu shot? And it's I thought you were. Oh no. Okay. So it's always interesting with that. And it ain't just even stuff that I'm not even with. Hey man, I'm sure Tallahassee, Florida. I'm sure after that Boston College game, I'm sure a lot of, and the words was about that all that flu was spreading around the team. I bet a lot of people were why you ain't get the flu? And I bet a lot of them was also on some shit their kids ain't get inoculated. I guarantee it. So this ain't just a thing of it's also just a thing of what I've witness across the thing. I'm talking about in my own fandom. So it's yeah, man, it's nasty how people make these compromises on what is their beliefs once they get a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, man, it's
really interesting.
The CM Punk fan army, bro. They got to lay down with WWE now. You know how nasty that is now, just because they want to, they got to stick it to. It's so funny.
I mean, it wasn't like they was gonna follow him. It wasn't like they was gonna follow their savior to TNA. So at least I get to watch him again. I get to watch him again.
Yes. What they did? They went home. They went home.
He's gonna come like that Rock promo. Finally, CM Punk has came home. He gonna cut one of them.
Oh my god!
That'd be nasty.
I think he's going to, as much as this man, has shit on his promotion and, this management team and everything. This man is about to come out there and make Seth Rollins look like like an upsetter. Like like I can imagine, now.
I'm interested to see where he settles in, where off the start you see, like, you can kind of see him presented as, right? Like, I think it's a big deal to try to make it known, like, where he stands in the pecking order, if he is on Raw, or if he's a free agent that floats around, because, like, there's no real argument that he can't be the number 2 babyface at worst in his company right now walking in the door. There's no good argument that he can't be. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes and how, plans change over time. It's going to be interesting. Or what the plan is, or what the plan looks like off rip, and then how it deviates based off, stuff like injury. Because look, it ain't like CM Punk has been like very healthy since coming back. And you can say the same thing about Danielson. Like all these early 2000s, all these 2000 ROHers, they're old now, man.
They're falling apart. Like, yeah.
Like Danielson doing the Continental Classic, and then he finna take it to the Dome, and I'm like, are we sure he gonna be able to make it to the Dome?
Well, is this a final countdown?
Like, do we need to like, is Cesaro on retainer in case he goes down for Okada, or do they need to break the glass for somebody bigger? They have to pull Moxley out that match and do Moxley versus Okada. Because look, I gotta tell you, I love Cesaro, but Cesaro ain't a big enough international draw for a dream match to be the international main event for Wrestle Kingdom 18. It's just not.
I mean, neither is David Finley's, but this is what they doing to us.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, like as far as like Big CM goes, like he it didn't work out in AEW. I think it's important to remember why it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But going forward, like I don't expect these same issues out of him immediately. I'd be shocked. I think I'm going to set the clock for 12 months, just, generously.
Okay.
Like within, 12 months, he'll fuck it up over there too somehow. I still think there's too many political minefields. There is a willingness for him to play ball in a way that he probably wouldn't in AEW, because he respects the people in WWE. Because at the end of the day, as much as he showed out, and made it a part of his character in the ring, out the ring, on podcasts, anywhere. Phil Brooks loves the WWE deep down.
Yeah, like, Macho Man, Bret Hart.
Like he said somebody that won the AEW championship and was doing huge buy rates, they never accomplished shit in the business. So like, for him, he should be willing to line it up and lay it down for Seth freaking Rollins. He should be willing to get in there and lose to the big dog, Roman Reigns. He should be willing to put over the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Now, if
he should be willing to do a bunch of business, shouldn't he?
Now, if Roman, yes, Cody. That's gonna be super interesting. Like the Seth thing, we already see is as a foregone conclusion that that Seth's gonna have to lay down for Big CM. But
bro, that shit's so funny.
Yeah. But like
I would pay to be in the room.
Yeah. Like how you think about, like, they got Cody last year at WrestleMania. They pulled a rug from underneath him. Like it's gonna be like Seth gonna be there. He's like, they ain't gonna do this to me. They ain't gonna do this to me. And then like they gonna be like,
they gonna pull him in the room at the last second.
Yep.
Like Earl Hebner. You like your job?
Yeah. We gonna make it up to you in the back end. Sure, yeah. We'll owe you one.
We gonna do you a favor. We'll owe you one.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, the one that I find particularly interesting is the Cody one, because obviously, like, Cody lost his spot to CM Punk in AEW, and then was left floating in an abyss of trying to find what was next for him, and then ultimately he fucked it up so bad that he had to leave and whatever else. And he's done great in WWE. Now that he's here, do they acknowledge that? Do they tie it into a storyline of them both chasing the same goal? Like, because I think that'd be the interesting thing to do, actually going to WrestleMania. Like I would honestly, like, in a way, kind of do what they were going into WrestleMania 13 on accident doing, like when they had like Sid and Undertaker and Austin and Brett, and make that a 4-person storyline to get from where we are today to get to WrestleMania with Seth and Cody and CM Punk and Roman. As far as like those three have to kind of like circle around each other and figure out who's going to take on the big dog at the last night of WrestleMania. I think that'd be particularly interesting to do. I think they're going to do that. I think roughly because I think that's the most compelling thing right now. Or what would be the most compelling thing to ultimately get to a main event as far as like determining like what's going to be night 1 of WrestleMania, what's going to be night 2 of WrestleMania, and then go from there. So yeah, the Cody and CM Punk interactions could be very interesting as far as like these two top baby faces, and they both got the same goal, kind of. Who's going to fail and have to get the consolation prize.
I'm wondering if they're going to present CM Punk as a babyface because he returns in Chicago. That's kind of what he does, right? They don't return him anywhere else. But Seth Rollins is a babyface. There was a promo that leaked out from a house show Sunday night where Rollins was basically took the tact of like, while this guy was outside this place, like tearing this company down, or I'm the person that was here. I don't know if that's like if Seth Rollins is counting on getting cheered. Look, the WWE audience,
that's his angle, good or whether he's a heel or not. Otherwise, that's his angle, right? Because ultimately, so much of his character has been tied around him being doing the leader thing or whatever, or trying to be the leader thing since 2019.
I just don't know how that's going to play because like this audience now is weird. Like I don't know, they do just go along with everything, but it's like, all right, how do you frame like? It seems counterproductive to like, I don't know, heel CM Punk's always better, but like, it feels like if they try to make him a heel, it's going to flip backwards. Like, and it'll actually match everything else that goes on here. Because man, that Rhea Ripley match that I saw, Jesus Christ.
You got a point there. I just think that regardless of however it's going to work, ultimately, whoever the fans want to cheer or boo, ultimately the fans mostly want to see these matches of CM Punk. Those are the first three people they want to see him wrestle, whatever since. So like, I think they're good either way. Now as far as like the Cody thing is appealing because like there's so much there because it's like you ran from me, like, or I left this company to get away from you. I left the company we were at before to get away from you, and now you're here now. And like, I don't know. There's the Cody stuff play with there. Will they play with it because AEW, because WWE wants to like not pretend like none of this stuff happened? I don't know. Right. But the part where like CM Punk's back, the most compelling thing you can do is give him a mic and let him shit on the place he just left, or try to, right, in a way without getting lawyers involved. So like, if that is where you're going to go, the natural person you need to bring in is Cody.
Yeah. Look. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes feuding over like who did AEW better or worse. Man, I can smell the upset people right now. Oh my god. In Cody's case, I think a lot of the stuff with Cody was going south before CM Punk ever even arrived.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So like, they could loosely tie it in or whatever. You know what? They actually don't even have to tie it in. Cody, remember his last promo in AEW, he basically used the script. He was like, yo, everything that you said you're going to do, I actually did.
Right.
You sat home. You were not part of this revolution or whatever. We made it safe for you. What you got to say now? Like, and once again, you're following in my footsteps again. Like, I think that's the way that the Cody Rhodes angle should go from it, at least.
Yeah, but keep in mind, like, CM Punk's had more than a year to think about a retort to that. So that's the thing. That's the thing with CM Punk. Like, you don't get him stumped on this kind of shit in theory. Like, let's say you were trying to catch up, you're trying to ambush him with that or whatever else. There's no way he hasn't thought about this with his potential matchup with that fucking guy. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where they go with all this. I'm here for all whatever like mess comes. As far as, or even like the stuff that's like intentional mess. I'm here for all of it.
Do you think it's smart of like, because say like I think he's going to close Raw tonight, and he's going to pew pew or whatever. Do you think it's smart for someone to reply in AEW?
No.
I agree.
Like, how can they possibly win this? Only thing they'll do is make make it get more material to him for later time, for more times in the future.
The only thing, this would be out of character for WWE because it would require acknowledging heavy points of All Elite Wrestling, which ultimately is going to shine a light on them. Like,
well, sorry, 2 of the 3 top guys are now from that company now.
Look, come on, but yeah, it would be unlike them to lean into it in that way. But I think if you're AEW, you just have to remember who you are, and know that you're not going to out glamour WWE at this point. You're not going to you've struggled to make things feel kind of big, quote unquote.
Yeah, and also now you're copying them,
right?
Stylistically at the top.
So now I think what they need to do is get behind the 4 guys they got in their early 30s or whatever, maybe 5. Add Takeshi in there. Like, you've got Ospreay, you've got Swerve, you got Hangman, you got Jay White, Takeshita. Like, it's time to start drawing a line with these guys and be like, yo, this is our, they can't fucking touch us in the ring. And really lean into that. Mm-hmm. And, use your emeritus guys like Moxley, Danielson, Omega, and to basically help certify those guys, Jericho, mm-hmm. Bucks, and keep that pressure on. And MJF's in that thing, but we'll get to MJF in a minute. MJF has been so kind of off the reservation, so to speak. It's I almost don't include him right now.
Yeah, but the point you're making is you want to show the whole thing when it's well, he's not, he's literally he's literally doing all the stuff that is not showing that's not showing differentiation between the 2 promotions.